I wanted to make this video because this is technically the last day of Pride. I believe actually today is like the actual like day everything happened. It's 6:28. Maybe that was 6:29. I honestly cannot remember for the life of me right this minute. But I figured since it's like one of the last days of Pride, today was as good a day as any to make this video, because I think right now, especially with everything going on in the world, we really, really need to knock it the fuck off. So what I'm talking about specifically is we have a very, very bad habit in this community of a lot of infighting. Like, you know, I remember I don't know if I made a video about this or I was going to make a video about this a few years ago. And if you can't tell that this is unscripted, I am very, very sorry. I didn't even have time to make a script. That's how, like, I really wanted to talk about this, and I just started thinking about this today. A couple of years ago, there was kind of a thing that was going around that was like, drop the tea. And so there's this thing that happens in our community, which is so much infighting, and honestly, it has to stop, because we are not each other's enemy. You know what I mean? Like, there is a real enemy out there of real people who still believe that gay people don't deserve rights, trans people don't deserve rights. So like anybody on the queer spectrum, they believe they don't deserve rights. A lot of them don't even believe we deserve like to live. Like, we've seen that. So like, I think we absolutely need to stop the infighting. And part of what brought this on for me is that I'm seeing a lot of discourse now, because I'm in the sort of part of the lesbian community on both TikTok and Tumblr. Yes, I'm on TikTok. I got bored and my friends were showing me all these like really hot butch lesbians, and so yeah, I'm on TikTok. I don't know why, but well, I know why, because I'm super fucking gay. But so I'm kind of in this community, and there's a lot of like discourse that I'm seeing that's like, it's just giving me a headache, to be honest, because I don't really know how to talk about this, because I feel like, as someone who maybe is still, guys, I don't know. I'm kind of like very on the fence with my sexuality right now. Like, not on the fence. I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I'm also like, I don't want to commit to something and be wrong. Like, it's very weird for me, but I like to like, I think at this point, when it's been probably 3 or 4 times that you've come out now, it's kind of like, girl, get it the fuck together, because apparently you cannot choose what the hell you want. Gender, yes, totally fine. Sexuality, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one. So I'm seeing a lot of discourse right now about the idea of the bi-lesbian. Now, the reason I say that is because it seems like there's kind of a very 50-50 split in the community as far as like what people think. Well, and Twitter's the same way, because I know there's a lot of discourse on Twitter about this as well. I don't see it because I'm not a part of the lesbian community on Twitter, because I don't really like to go on Twitter that much. But I know that this discourse exists. I know it's there. So basically there's like kind of a 50-50 split, like I said. Half the people think that bi-lesbian is a real thing and it's something we should be allowed to call ourselves, and the other half believe that it's lesphobia to call yourself a bi-lesbian because it's a contradiction in terms, which I kind of get that reasoning as far as like a contradiction in terms, because like, if you're bi, you like both, and if you're a lesbian, you probably exclusively like women. But here's my problem with that, right? So there's so many varying factors, right? So if you're a non-binary person who identifies as a lesbian, I feel like that kind of precludes you, because you're non-binary, so you're not a man or a woman. So you could say bi or pan-lesbian, because you're still a lesbian, but you're not a man or a woman. Sometimes you're both, sometimes you're neither. It depends. There's like a whole thing. I don't fully understand the non-binary thing. I will admit that. I have a general idea from friends of mine, but I think everyone's different, so I don't exactly know. Like, I'm not gonna say it's this thing assuredly and there's no other way. Like, it's kind of different for everyone, I think. But my point is, generally speaking, you're kind of, not really either a lot of the times. So to suggest that you can't be non-binary and a lesbian, like, what do you call yourself? Like, you're still a lesbian as far as I'm concerned. So like, obviously that kind of lends itself more towards bisexuality. Also, if you're a lesbian and your partner decides, hey, I need to transition, like that's what I need for myself, you know, I feel like to say, oh, she's straight now, like the partner that didn't transition, oh, she's straight now, like that's not fair. Like, why? You were with a woman forever and you're still interested in women. You just happen to be with someone who is not a woman anymore. Like, it's not fair to say to them, you can't call yourself a lesbian now. And so if you're saying, you know, that kind of makes you bi, I would say, and therefore, you know, that's kind of a bi lesbian. So anyway, my point is, there's so much infighting in our community that really doesn't need to happen. And it's really, really frustrating to see. Oh, another thing I was going to talk about, another part of infighting that we really need to handle right now, especially right now, because there are still shit going on. And no, I did not forget. And no, it is not stopped. I think we need to talk about, I know we need to talk about the racism in the LGBTQ community, because this is something that we have never dealt with. I think it really needs to die. So there was a tweet that went around from this gay Republican who I have never heard of, and I honestly cannot remember his name because he is, excuse me, my phone went off, because he is so inconsequential to me and my life. However, this person decided to say that Juneteenth didn't exist and that people of color were trying to colonize Pride Month, which, no. Okay, that's wrong for about 100 reasons, and the first of which is, frankly, that Pride exists because of queer people of color. I have said this repeatedly. I will continue to say this repeatedly. I will scream this from the mountaintops if I have to, if you all fucking keep forgetting. These white gays keep forgetting, because you need to know that Pride exists because of trans women of color and a butch lesbian of color. And if we forget that, I'm going to keep reminding you, because clearly y'all don't want to see it. I know that a lot of people want to forget that the trans community exists, period, it seems like. But y'all need to know it was trans people of color who started Pride. Pride was a riot. It was because of police brutality. I have said this before, and I will say this again. So frankly, if you're a gay person and you don't support the Black Lives Matter movement, I think your gay card should be taken away. Honestly, I do. I think your gay card should be taken away. You are no longer gay. You're straight. I don't know what to tell you, sir. Or madam, if you're, you know, so inclined. But to be honest, you no longer get to call yourself gay or queer or anything on that spectrum, because you clearly don't understand where it comes from and why it exists. So frankly, you don't deserve it. Okay? That's that on that. Yeah, we need to do something about all of these things. The infighting absolutely needs to stop. We are not each other's enemies. I know there's a lot of like people in the queer community who are like, I wouldn't date a bi person because, you know, they can't be trusted, as if we are somehow more promiscuous than anyone else. But you're going to say that a bi person is untrustworthy. Like, okay, girl. And honestly, like, I don't know. I still don't really know. Like, at this point, am I bi? I mean, I guess I have been interested in men in the past, but I'm currently not, so I don't even know where that puts me. But I will say this, like, when I'm into someone, I am 100% into them, like, to the point that no one else really exists for me. Like, even if I think someone is attractive, like, I'm not going to go after them. If I'm actively into someone and they're into me, if I'm in a relationship with someone, like, that's it. That's a wrap. I was in a relationship with someone for 2 years who was poly, and only once did I ever do anything that was outside of our main relationship. And I felt terrible about it, even though we were poly and that was like the agreement. Like, that was the thing. So if you can imagine that, even in a relationship where it is okay and it is open for you to see other people, I still would not see another person. Like, that to me suggests, like, I don't know, maybe bi people aren't as, you know, ready to jump into bed with people just randomly just because. Like, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it's just, it's so frustrating to me, because I feel like this is such a pivotal moment in our history and as a community, not just, you know, as a world community, but also as like the queer community. We definitely need to stand the fuck up, and we need to deal with everything that's going on right now. And I think we have bigger problems than just like what people decide to call themselves or how they decide to identify, or even we have bigger problems than like just you know, who's allowed to be in the community. And I think we don't get to police who is and isn't allowed to be in the community, except let me just say this, how do I put this delicately? Yeah, no cops at Pride. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Not next year, not the year after that. Never again. I don't care if you're gay and a cop. I don't want you there. And frankly, I don't really want you to be gay and a cop, because you obviously missed the memo too that Pride started because of police brutality. Just because the NYPD decided, by the way, 50 years after the fact, to apologize for raiding the Stonewall Inn does not mean that everything is okay now. It is not okay. It is very much not okay. And we need to stop it, okay? NYPD has $5.6 billion that they're using for God only knows what to make themselves into a small military, I guess. By the way, I don't know if anyone who watches this video is in the UN. I'm probably going to doubt it. But please contact the UN and tell them that they need to step in on this police brutality issue, because they're using, like, they're violating the Geneva Convention. So they're using like war crimes. Like, do you understand this? Like, this is bad. This is very, very, very bad. Like, anyway, this video kind of got off track, but actually kind of is probably the most on track of anything I've ever made in a video. Like, it's probably the most succinct that wasn't scripted video that I've ever done. So yeah, please, 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 just remember, the infighting needs to stop. You guys, we are not each other's enemies. I think as queer people, we need to stand together, especially we need to stand together for our Black and brown sisters, for people of color, for Indigenous people, all of whom may and can be queer, and some of them are queer, and I think we need to stand for them, because right now shit's fucked up, okay? Shit's fucked up, and I think we need to do something, because we're in a very bad place. And this is what Pride is. You know, everyone's like, oh, Pride's canceled. No, bitch, this is Pride, okay? This is fucking Pride. Marching with our brothers and sisters, that is Pride, okay? Black people stood up for us. It is time to stand up for them. I was gonna make a whole video, an essay about how we owe them everything, but I feel like maybe it doesn't need to be an essay. Maybe this is it, just speaking from the heart and saying, like, we owe the Black queer community everything. And frankly, I kind of feel like the Black community in general, because like the civil rights movement took place before the gay rights movement, and we kind of, I don't want to say borrowed their language, but probably borrowed their language. And you know, here we are, we have gay marriage, and it's been 5 years, and that's great. I don't know why I thought it was 2014. I guess it was 2015 when that happened. I honestly have no recollection of time. Then again, the start of 2020 did feel like 10 years ago, so a lot's happened. A lot's happened, let's just put it that way. So yeah, just the infighting needs to stop, guys. I don't know what to tell you. We need to do better for each other. We need to do better for ourselves. We need to do better for our community, and that's that. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'm not going to tell you to like, comment, and subscribe. First of all, A, you know the deal. B, this isn't really about me. I think this is about our community and how important it is. And C, yeah. Happy Pride, everyone. I know this has been kind of a rough year. Stay strong. Keep fighting the good fight, especially if you are fighting for all queer people and queer people of color especially, because let's not forget that all Black lives matter. Not all lives, all Black lives matter. Very important distinction. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I need to shut this off before I just keep rambling for another 20 minutes. Thank you all so, so much. Bye-bye. Boop. That's so dumb. How do I stop this? How do I stop this?